Hi everyone, despite the voice I still wanted to film this video because it is a bit overdue. Haley from Just Buy the Makeup tagged me with the Build Your Own Eyeshadow Palette tag, which if I remember correctly was created by Kat from Katrice. So the idea behind this tag is that you're supposed to pick 12 eyeshadows that would make up your own perfect palette. And it took me quite a while, honestly, to figure out which shades I wanted to have in here. I knew one shade off the top of my head, and that is the one that I didn't even have around, so I had to buy that. But all in all, I had a good idea of what I wanted. And everything else just switched around back and forth. And now that I look at previous pictures I had taken, because I wanted to make sure I can see it on the picture as well, make me debate my decision again, to be honest, because it is really difficult to create your own perfect palette, to know exactly what you want in there. And I'm going to go and tell you all the shades I chose and why I chose them. So for starters, I have to say I only have one brow bone highlight, and that is because for me there is only one eyeshadow that I now believe is an absolute must-have, and that is a matte cream shadow that is light enough. For me, this is the Alverde Mono Eyeshadow in Warm Vanilla, and this is it. I had to purchase this one specifically for this video because I had run out, and currently I'm trying to work through two of my Catrice Velvet Matte eyeshadows in Vanilla Tea Fair. I do like this eyeshadow a lot as well, but as a brow bone shade, depending on how much you apply, it can be a bit too stark because it does have golden reflect particles in it, and that just it just highlights the brow bone way too much, and I don't like that a lot. So for me, the ideal shade is actually a matte shade, and this is it. What I like about this is that you can also actually just blend out other eyeshadows with this, because it will it works perfectly to just blend them out, but you can also tune down the color a bit if you just went in with too heavy of a hand and you have too much eyeshadow on there. If I just use this one to blend it out, I'm good to go still. So this is the first eyeshadow. Then I have some more, I would say, mid-toned eyeshadows. For starters, I have from the Ulta Complete Eye palette, or quint, in the shade Complete, in the shade Soul. I chose this guy right here. This is a very light brownish shade, which I can use all over the lid, but also in the inner corner. It is light enough for me even, and I do like this a lot. This is a bit more shimmery, which I do like. Otherwise, I would have gone with, where is it? I could have also gone with this guy right here. So as you see, these are very similar in shade, but the Ulta shade is a bit more shimmery than the Catrice shade, and that's why I actually went with the Ulta shade. Other than that, they are very similar. So the Catrice eyeshadow is called, oh, it's Toffeeful, in case you were wondering. But this guy here is just wonderful because it is that nudie color that still leaves a trace on your light, and it is beautiful. Then I wanted something that is a bit more pinky, and I went with a Catrice single eyeshadow. This is one of their absolute eye colors, in New in Brown, and this is it. Now this, in comparison to this here, the Catrice shade is more pinky, more rosy. I do like both of these a lot, but they are different enough for me to say I need both of them. I like the rosy one because this is just a nice change of in the eyeshadow game, and this is a very nice neutral shade in the Ulta Quint. Then I needed some matte crease shades, and I went with my Urban Decay Naked palette. I decided on Naked as the lightest of my matte crease shades because Naked is just a wonderful shade, It is still warm toned, but it does blend out so well, and it's just such a pretty shade. This is probably a bit on the camel-y side of brown shades, and I do like this a lot. The next matte crease shade that I decided on is actually in the Naked 2 palette, and it is this guy here in the shade Tease. Now Tease is more of a cool toned but still manageable shade for me. I am very warm toned in my complexion, so if I'm not careful, unfortunately cool toned eyeshadows, especially cool toned more on the gray side of eyeshadows, they look wrong on me. They look like I applied dirt, which is an issue with my contour shades as well. And this is just perfect for that. While it's cool toned, it still works nice. And it is a beautiful, beautiful shade. And then for my third matte crease shade, I have to go back to the Naked 1 palette because that would be Buck. Buck is darker, obviously, than the other two, but Buck is still a beautiful neutral brown shade that I do like a lot. It is a wonderful color to just use because it does blend out well, just like all the Urban Decay eyeshadows that I have tried so far. And it is, since it is a bit darker than all the other two crease shades that I have, it is also nice for a softer look for the outer V. Then I have a shade in my IT Cosmetics Naturally Pretty eyeshadow palette, and this is the shade in Sunset. Sunset is also a matte shade, but it is much more red toned and very, very warm. I needed something that is a bit warmer for my perfect palette because I do like warm looks, and I think this applied even all over the lid and just blending it out and smoking it out towards the top will be absolutely gorgeous. And so Sunset had to be in here because Sunset is just this beautiful, beautiful shade. Then we come to my Urban Decay Vice eyeshadow palette, and this is it. I'm not sure if that, I think that is the first one. So these are the shades, and the shades I decided on are actually these three here. I needed some pops of color, so I decided that these two especially would be working very well. This is more of a pinky color, and this is the one that I was debating about actually until I started filming this video actually, because it is more on the pinky shade side of colors, and they don't always look good on me, but this one I just love too much. And this guy here is this perfect reddish color that is shimmery and that just is absolutely gorgeous. I had to look through my collection quite a bit because I knew I wanted a red shimmery color that was on the rusty side but not too dark at the same time, and I could not find anything, and then I pulled out the Urban Decay Vice palette, and this is just it. There's nothing I can say about it. This is it. Looking at this palette, there are many awesome shades in here, but even then, it's just not, it is not perfect. There are still things that I would be missing looking at these shades, and these three here are absolutely gorgeous. Now this is of course a darker shade, and this is actually one that I'll be mentioning in a bit again, because I want to go through them in a decent shade range. So this and then this. Then I have another shade in the IT Cosmetics Naturally Pretty palette, and this is the shade in Java. This is this dark brown here. This is still warm toned, and I do like this a lot. I like this for darker looks for the outer V, but also to darken up the lash line, for example. I still do that a lot. I don't know why nobody else does it. But this is, it is close to being black, but it's not completely black. So this is absolutely gorgeous. And the last shade I have is from the Urban Decay The Black palette, and it is the shade Cobra right here, What I like about this is that while the entire eyeshadows have a black base, this has golden, well, it's like old gold. It has a golden green shimmer particle in it that is absolutely gorgeous, and I cannot go without it. This is a beautiful, beautiful shade if you want to have a shimmery outer V color. This is my go-to. All the other shades are also very beautiful, but this is my go-to. So, and just to let you know, the eyeshadows that I had been debating on were actually, that didn't make the cut, in my Naked 2 palette. The shade right here in Booty Call. This would have been a nice brow bone and inner corner highlight as well. But for one, I hardly ever use a highlight in the inner corner because I unfortunately have the problem that if I use eyeshadow in the inner corner, I often get it in my eye. And my eyes then dry up and they get very, very itchy, and I don't like that a lot. So I don't use inner corner highlights, but this would be beautiful. Or if your brow bones are not as, I don't know, I feel like if I put something shimmery on my brow bones, if I'm not light-handed enough, my brow bone is just like way over here and everything else is back here, of course, so that doesn't look good. So Booty Call would have been one of the shades that I was debating on, just as was this guy here. They are very similar in shade. Oops. If you look at them in the camera, Booty Call from the Urban Decay shadow looks a bit darker, but swatched they are very similar. This is just an Essence Duo in all-time favorites. I do like this a lot, but it didn't make the cut. So these are the shades I used, and then the one shade that did not make the cut because I wanted a lighter, colorful shade was from the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. This guy right here, because this is absolutely beautiful. I just wanted something lighter that would give me a pop of color still. And now I have to swatch these eyeshadows for you. So let me move the setting a bit, and I'm right back. So the first shade is the Alverde eyeshadow, which is a matte cream. Then we have the Ulta shadow, which is also still very light. And we have the Catrice eyeshadow. These are all very beautiful. Then I have the Urban Decay eyeshadows, my first one here. So this guy here is Naked. Then I have Tease from the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette, and I have Buck right here. More of that too. I have Buck right here. Then I have the warm brown shade from the It Cosmetics palette. As you can see, this also blends out nicely. Then we have from the Urban Decay Vice palette, we have Alchemy. And we have Sonic. So these are my pops of colors. And then we have from the It Cosmetics palette the shade in Java. From the Urban Decay Vice palette again, I have Bondage. And I have the shade Cobra from the Urban Decay The Black palette. So, moving this out a bit. So this would be my perfect palette. As you can see, this is on the neutral side, but there are still a few pops of colors with these, I would almost say with these three shades even, because they do stand out a bit more for me, but there's also a way for you to smoke it up a bit. And I do like wearing more turquoise and teal shades, of course, but for some reason I think I would rather have a single, because then if it were a palette I actually had just too much going on, and I would probably have the teal shade left in the entire palette, and then I would have to buy a new one. I would still have the teal. So teal shades are the ones that I would rather buy singles. This is my perfect palette, and of course I would like to tag a few people as well, and now I hope you will have a great day, and I'm going to link Haley's and Kat's videos down in the info box so that you can check them out, because I think you absolutely should. So yeah, I'll leave it at that, and I will see you guys soon. Bye! Then I want to tag Jacqueline from then I want to tag